Yeah, Depu, hard running, always looking for that ball, coming short, running wide. He has been handful for a number of defenders.
And many other names that they're talking about, your Maestro and
number 10,
Vidinho.
Yes. Vidinho, the left back, number 13, yeah.
Well, interesting game that this is going to be. It is a very cold day, 14 degrees, but the coaches also still believe that the heat can be turned on. Coach, congratulations for coming this far. Now you're up against an Angolan side that is stubborn. But let's talk about your team. Are you ready? Have you put together a strong team that can face Angola?
Déjà, félicitations pour la qualification encore une fois. Vous allez affronter l'Angola, équipe assez forte. Mais en dehors de ça, comment est-ce que vous êtes prêt aujourd'hui? Est-ce que vous êtes assez prêt pour ce nouveau match?
Oui, nous sommes assez prêts pour jouer ce match. Vous savez que, on sait qu'Angola, c'est une équipe qui a de l'expérience dans cette compétition. C'est les favoris parce qu'ils ont remporté 3 fois. Mais bon, quand on arrive en demi-finale, il n'y a plus de petites équipes, il n'y a pas de favoris. On va essayer de jouer notre jeu, de mieux faire. Et bon, voilà quoi. On espère quelque chose, c'est-à-dire la victoire, chercher la victoire.
So today we are only here to win the game. We know that we are playing against a very tough team. Angola is obviously one of the favorites of the tournament because we won it in the past. But you know, in the semi-finals, there is no favorite, no small team, and I think that we just need to play our game like as usual, and let's win.
Coach, the penultimate game before the final. What is the plan today, the approach in particular?
For achieve the final, for sure. Anyone to achieve the semi-finals, all the teams try to be in the final, but also grab the opportunity for that generation, for that boys who wants so much to achieve the high level, to achieve the main team. So today is a great opportunity to them.
Talking about the opportunity, it's also a day where they cannot be complacent because they say Comoros, who is Comoros? They have now seen that Comoros is a very strong side.
Sure. We played 2 years ago in that tournament, in 2022, against Comoros. So we felt that they are coming. And even this year in March, we played in Morocco against the Comoros. Despite they have only perhaps 4, 5 or 6 players from that squad in March, even us. But they showed, they proved that they are so much better. So for us, doesn't matter the opponent. It's a question for sure we plan, we work with because it's a dual match. Our performance also depends from the opponents. But for us, we respect Comoros like other team who achieved the semi-finals is because they deserve to be here. So have our respect, and we know that we must work a lot to get the best for the final.
A historic adventure for Comoros at the 2024 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup has the nation aiming for a first ever final up against an Angolan side looking for their first final in 18 years as they square up in the semi-finals at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in what is their second ever meet in the COSAFA Cup. A good day to you on a day when the weather is, well, having its biggest factor of this tournament. When we woke up this morning, it was windy, extremely windy in the Windy City, wet and extremely cold, 14 degrees. The temperature today, the weather, or the rain rather, let up in the early hours of the morning. But for both these sides, they'll come out here looking to, of course, put their best foot forward, with Comoros, of course, being the surprise package of the tournament, and Angola looking a true contender for a possible favorite in this tournament as well. Well, they make their way out of the tunnel here with another semi-final, of course, to be played here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium later on in the day, or in the evening, I should say, with Mozambique taking on Namibia. For now, two solid sides that have truly entertained thus far line up, hoping, of course, to be the first to qualify for the final. Time now for the national anthems.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Angola.
So Angola look to make it 2 wins in 2 years over the Comoros here. And, well, this Comoros side, of course, a side that surprised many in what was a tough Group B, where they finished ahead of Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. They, of course, were first, Kenya second. Zambia, the defending champions, finishing bottom of the group. They responded well to what was an opening loss to Zambia and haven't looked back since. Comoros, they bring Hilal, wearing the number 11 jersey, into the starting lineup, as well as Naimuddin out into the attacking third of the field. Antimati has really done a stunning job between the sticks here for Comoros and has been one of the leaders for the side. And well, we can't talk defense and not talk about the man wearing the number 5 jersey. That being, of course, Karim playing alongside Omar. They will have the creative spark of the side being Joja, but out in the attack, Afane is a man who's bagged in a couple of goals here and will be a definite threat going forward, looking, of course, to end the tournament as a possible top goal scorer. For the referees here, Among Letom, assisted by James Emile as well as Soru Patswani. And keep in mind, the 4th official is Celcio Alvacao. And VAR, of course, enters the tournament for the first time here at the 2024 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. And in as far as the VAR officials, they'll be looking for as good a showing as those in your picture right now. So, Leticia Viana, of course, will be amongst the officials in VAR, and also Ahmad Haralal. Checking out the VAR takes a part in the COSAFA Cup now for Angola. The combination of Vitinho and Mandinho, so crucial to them defensively, but also they are a serious threat going forward in the dead ball situations. Maestro has been a true maestro in the middle of the park. He scored 1 goal. He's also won a couple of Man of the Match awards. Out in the attack, one can't ignore the powerful, hard-running, goal-scoring Depu. 3 goals he's got in this tournament. Picas and Berna will look to be, well, the creative sparks in the attacking third. Ben, of course, slotting into the starting lineup here for the semi-final. Both coaches from Europe, from Portugal, Pedro Gonçalves, and from France, Amada Chambe. What a job he's done with this COMOROS side here, especially after that opening loss to Zimbabwe, where they lost by a goal to 0. They beat Kenya 2-0, and then beat Zambia with a 1-0 scoreline. Only conceded in that 1 goal, so Depu in your picture will be looking to put them to the sword, so to speak, or at the very least test the combination of Karim in your picture as well as Omar. This promises to be a good game of football, especially with what we've seen these sides do over the last week and a half. Angola it is to get this game underway, attacking the goal to the left of your picture. A couple of years ago, 3-1 was the scoreline in their favor against the Comoros. So the Benin Queen looking for a bit of a revenge. The Angolans, they finished top of a group that had Namibia and Seychelles as well as Lesotho. Both they and Namibia, of course, pushing on from the group, with Namibia finishing as the best second place side. Maximo Bayani sitting alongside me here for the semi-final. Well, the weather is a factor here today. It's kept some of the supporters away here, these cold conditions, but the wind was something we spoke about, and this venue does protect the game somewhat from the wind with the way it's built, the stadium, and I will be hoping these sides can still dish out their best football out there.
Well, especially when they keep it on the ground this way, it will be very much easier for both sides, because then they don't have to worry about those long balls. But having said that, though, the big question for me is who of the two teams will weather the storm?
Early set piece here with the Maestro. Getting an early message from the Comoros defense here. Chance to push big men forward here. We spoke about Vitinho as well as Mindinho out in the defense. When they push forward, they are a real factor. Vitinho scoring in the last game for Angola, in a game where Vitinho could have scored a couple of headers himself with clear-cut chances. All about the quality in the delivery from the far side. Hossi and Maestro standing over it.
Check Vitinho lurking on the far side of this wall from the set piece. He's the one who will be charging there also.
Outswinger from Maestro. Good ball! Great chance! Superb start! Just over 2 minutes is taken, and it's Caliano that loses the defense and slots it beyond Nazimati with a top-notch header.
Hey, please.
That's Angola for you. When it comes to set pieces, they are a handful because they've got so many big bodies in the box there. Vidino, who was a threat for me right at the end, was the man that wasn't even marked, but also looking at just Galliano, just attacking that ball, played in that wall. And that is so beautiful. No chance that you can even look at it on a VAR. From the inside, late defending from the captain there.
Yep, Georgia, the closest to him, is muscled out of that position. He's big, he's got a presence, and what a wild cushion header into the bottom corner. Couldn't have asked for a better start here. And just putting Comoros against the wall here in the early stages and on the back foot. Comoros now will need to show a bit of character in how they respond.
They really have been, that is Comoros, the surprise package of this tournament. But again, Angola, to me, have always been favorites. Having seen them throughout this tournament, they look like they have players that can go on and beat anybody.
They've got the creativity in the likes of Maestro. They've got the big men that are a serious threat. They are probably the biggest threat in dead ball situations the Angolans in this tournament, or have been. Now, they will need that aerial ability defensively here. And, well, no one contesting the ball from an Angolan point of view. And half chance, I'll call it, for Comoros then. Omar just couldn't steer that towards goal.
Omar also got his chance there, but he could have nodded down. He just let his head face up, and then the ball just ballooned over there, sideways instead of towards the target. You've got a minute, Caesar. Go to with the forehead and knock it down. Be positive, be bully when you get both those balls in the box.
Well, opening 4 minutes, both sides getting good chances with corners, so the aerial duels are something to keep an eye on either side of the field here. Early ball looking for Depo, losing out there into Omar initially. Zamir going back to Anzemati. That's lovely distribution, lovely ball from Anzemati out on that first time pass to the teammates.
I like those first-time passes, and there's one player that mastered them. The only one in the world that I can think of, Luther Matthäus, midfielder, the then midfielder for Germany. Whip-whacking them first time, changing play. What a midfield maestro that man was.
Now, Depo. We're talking absolute legend of the Matthäus. Now, here's Kasim here on this near side. Yet to see the best of Comoros with the ball on the ground, but they will need is the likes of Kasim as well as Georgia on the ball in the opposition half of the field. In the middle of the park, they do have the likes of Mudafir and Hilali, who do put up a good battle and are hard to break down. So physically, it will be quite a battle against the likes of Maestro, Domingos, and Teliano. Picas unable to pick up Depo out in the attacking areas. He'll always be trying to get onto the shoulder of the last defender. Battles for just about everything thrown forward as that Depo. As that Maestro here has called for the foul. Imogene, the man who plays for Vulcan Club, the victim on this occasion. This is his second appearance. Imogene is at 167 minutes so far of this tournament. Well, we praised his distribution some 3 minutes ago. Anzemati, teammates on the edge of the box. Then you could see his intentions in trying to find the teammate out wide on that left side. Well, from Group A, the big talking point, of course, South Africa not getting out the group. Group B, it was Zambia and Zimbabwe that didn't get through. So close for Kenya to qualifying as the best second place side on 6 points, only to be edged out right on the last of the group days by Namibia. Now, early ball. Maestro. Spoke about that hustle in the middle of the park for Comoros. Then Maestro losing out. Medine starting off on a good note as far as the battle between those two gentlemen. Karim. Well, it continues between Maestro and Namadine. Referee here, Amogile Tom, inside the opening 8 minutes, shows the first yellow card of this semi-final. So he'll have to watch himself here, Namadine, a man who's been slotted into the starting lineup for this semi-final. Dangerous play against the Maestro. He, of course, replaces Hassane, who had been present for every game throughout the group stages in the starting 11 for Comoros. First time they've shaken up that midfield where they don't have the combination of Mudafir, Ilali and Hassane. Now, Joja. Driving forward here. Already numbers looking to get into the box. Goal is keeping a good shape about their defense then.
I heard you touching on the groups, and it looks like Group C is well represented in this tournament. Had tough teams, and it was a real dog situation there.
Well, Angola qualified on a dramatic last day right here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, as Namibia was doing the business out at the Isaac Wilson Stadium. Of course, those are the two venues that had been used for this tournament. We've now seen the last of the Isaac Wilson Stadium, and for those out in Guazakele, the football-loving community out in Guazakele, they've really given us some fun times in the way they've supported the games that have taken place there. Semi-finals to be played here at the Nelson Mandela Bay, including the final, of course, on Sunday. Tomorrow will be a rest day. Medinho. Good movement of the ball here from Kailano, supported by Picas. Those two swapping positions for the time being, with Picas now going a bit more central whilst Kailano stays out wide on the left. Passing. Maestro. Running out of space quickly out to that far side with the number of few shirts. Closing in on Hossi and Maestro, in the end forcing the error. Tarek of Etoile George Minstry taking the throw in. George is joining us. Yes, it's Angola to found the back of the net beautifully from a dead ball situation. Keliano with a beautifully placed header to get the better of Anzimati. Omar. So there's the weather and the wind, 51 kilometers an hour. Again, when you are outside of the venue, you do feel the wickedness of the wind, of course. As we mentioned earlier, the beautiful Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium and the shape of the venue really does a great job of keeping as much of the wind out and preventing it from being effective. As we look back at the challenge and the battle between the number 17s.
It was always going to be such battles because these two teams have quality players. When Comoros came to this tournament, we never saw the sort of the idea of how good they are. They are quite a good side. They keep the ball on the ground. They've come from behind on 1 or 2 occasions. And when you think they will never come back, and they do come back.
Nicely done, under pressure then by Karim. couldn't quite keep it moving with the pass straight down the middle and had to take care then with Tepu looking to start to run in behind him. Joja. Zamir. Well, it continues between the number 17, so a couple of battles to keep an eye on from a physical standpoint. Afane, as well as Sandro, including, of course, Namodine, who's already picked up a yellow card trying to keep tabs on a Maestro. Well, the signs have been there for Comoros that this could be their year. 2026 World Cup qualifiers, top of their group, which of course makes them the surprise package in that group once again. And they've come here and kept the good times rolling with the way they've handled themselves here in the COSAFA Cup. First time ever they've made a semi-final. They're looking to take it one step further in getting to a final. They've only ever gotten out the group stages on one occasion, Mafa, getting to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, also clearly buoyed by their performance in the AFCON. They were not a pushover. I remember 1 or 2 games where I looked at them and I thought, this is a useful side.
Taking no chances then is Omar. Pena. Virginia.
How soon he forgets.
He enjoys having the ball at his feet.
Yeah, remember the other time it was stolen.
In the group stages out at the Isaac Wilson Stadium, made an error that led to a goal whilst he dilly-dallied on the ball. This time quick to get it away with the header. Maestro to help it on its way. Joja. Tarek. Karim Tomar Jen. Angola happy to allow them to pass around the back four inside their own half. Gets interesting once they go over that halfway line. Here's Karim. Keeping the structure so well, making it difficult for Comoros to play between the lines here in trying to get some forward movements. And Martin losing in trying to find that forward pass. So foul it is on this near side with Angola looking for a speedy transition here on this near side.
It's that man again, Sandro. It's either he's fouling or being fouled.
Well, the good news this time is that it's not Afane that fouls him in the battle between the number 17s, but we'll be looking to push forward and get into the attacking third as much as possible from this left side, Sandro. Well, Hossi will look to do likewise on the far. Depo couldn't quite deal with the bounce on that occasion. Oh, good work to win it back in the middle of the park here from Berna. Kiliano finding Sandro. Depo. Nice header down the line here. And Pickas looking for a teammate, then defender doing enough to slow them down for a moment, and Kiliano looking for something truly special. Couldn't get over it in a search of his second of the tournament. And
Pickas, as he attacks here, he didn't get a lot of movement, and I mean, not too many players showed off and damn it, you know, changing runs, exchanging positions. He had no one to pick.
Well, there was a couple in the box that were marked, both thinking pick us.
And he couldn't pick any of them.
Nice stroke, calm as you like in the middle of the park. He's been an absolute joy to watch. The man wearing the number 10 jersey for the Angolans. That said, Joja on the other end for the Comoros wearing the number 7 jersey has also had a similar effect from a creative standpoint for the men in green. Pickers. And he plays his club football for Ferenc. Didn't start off the tournament making the starting 11, featuring off the bench in the early stages, but certainly has made an impact as the tournament went on, making the starting 11 now for the last couple of games. Tournament is now averaging 1.94 goals a match, 35 goals scored in the 18 matches. Remember, the first 8 matches we had a real goal drought with 7 goals scored in 8 matches. As the group stages wore on and things started to get a bit tense with guys trying to find their places, the goals started to come.
Talking about things starting to come, isn't it interesting that it rained, got windy, got dark, and the sun is starting to come out?
Yeah.
Bit of a Cape Town touch there.
Knew it was going to be a cold day. Waking up this morning when one could hear the wind howling outside the window. Strong in the air. Here's Amendinho. Maestro. Opening 20 minutes here, just the one real chance to speak of if you are just joining us, but so far 2 sides here that are difficult to break down defensively. Keep their structure well, compete well physically in the middle of the park as well. So far, the two top goal scorers in the tournament with 3 goals apiece. Tepu one, Museo the other. Got blocked from Maestro. Only as far as Amir now looking for men over at the far post. Happy to clear was Hasi. Well, they did meet back in 2022. These are 2 sides, 3-1. The win for the Angolans, who lead by goal to 0 now. Joja. Goal scorers for the Angolans that day were Miguel, Lepua, and Ikino. They also just scored from the penalty spot. There's Depo. Goes on one of his power runs here on this near side. Didn't really have much in the way of options inside that box. Looking on to try and get there was Kiliano from the middle of the park. The only real choice he had was at the top of the box as the ball was played in. A bit of space here in the middle of the park. Comoros still looking for their best attacking play of this match as Joe just fouled on the turn then. Defender was in trouble then, he had committed. And the big man in defense then, Vidinho, and was in the process of being rolled when he committed that foul. So, second player to pick up a yellow card. Plays for Atletico Petroles at Luanda. Couple of bookings so far in this match. Extra under pressure then, and gives away a set piece in a much better place here for Comoros, pleading his innocence. The pressure applied on him here by Kasim. So Langanga to organize here. 3 men in the wall. from that sort of angle. Wouldn't be a big surprise if they try and go direct towards goal. Could still come up with a bit of a surprise in showing us what they've been working on in training. So Comoros looking for the equalizer here, 22 minutes in. Been 20 minutes since they conceded the opening goal of this match. Looking to go direct, ball doing its job. Now, pressure here. Oh, real pressure. Angola Nick is here and look to capitalize. Maestro's an option in the middle of the park. Not needed. As once again, it's the man of the moment from a goal-scoring point of view. Anything thrown forward, Teppo will run after it and cause all sorts of problems for any sleepy defense.
Oh, Sizwe, I'm sure you noticed that as the ball broke through, I just pinched you to say the keeper is dead. He was left for dead. At some point, he didn't know whether to go or go back to the line. And during that hesitation moment, it became a fatal hesitation. Teppo doing what he does best, scoring goals in this tournament.
Starts off in defense. There he is, middle of your picture, making the run. And once it's a 50-50 ball, you know he's going to compete. And when it comes to pace, he's got plenty of it, Marks.
Oh, didn't he skin him, though? He just skinned the keeper with ease, as Marty was just rounded so easy. But then Maestro tried to help, and he said, what help? I know where the target is.
Well, on 4 occasions, he's shown us that he knows where the target is. Now the outright top goal scorer of this tournament, Angola. Well, quick with the counter-attack. Within seconds from defending a set piece, they explode going forward. And Teppo on a one-on-one against the defender. Even when it seems all hope is lost and the defender might have the slightest of advantages, the way he competes and makes life difficult really has been a joy to watch for a striker sometimes who makes things happen out of nothing.
And the advantage is that he's a big man, so he believes in himself. He can be bully against defenders. But the interesting thing is when he scored, his eyes were on the prize, making sure that he rolls the ball. Awkward as it was, not too awkward, but awkward as it was, he didn't need Maestro. But that he missed it. Then they would say, are you selfish or what?
You remember the one match where he had similar situations, one-on-one against defenders at times, one against 2 defenders with a long ball forward where he could have scored a hat-trick. 3 lobs, he went wide with 3 lobs, one-on-one against the keeper.
In fact, it was 3 lobs when he just was unfortunate. But today it looks like he just sat back in this room and thought, what did I do wrong? And he is correcting everything.
Good goalkeeping here from Langanga. Comoros now need to ensure it's them score the next goal if it is to come. Got push forward here. The run on the overlap on the far side uses a decoy. Shots had Langanga concerned. Real concern for them will be the fact as we look back at Langanga's good goalkeeping, but the concern here for Comoros, maybe the fact that they haven't created anything clear-cut as yet in 25 minutes and find themselves trailing by 2.
You know, often coming into certain contests based on what you've seen so far, you just get convinced that the writing is on the wall. And I thought, I hope I'm right when I say the writing is on the wall. Angola are the ones that are going to run with it. And are they not running with it?
Well, some will be quick to point out, Max Mompaniani, that the Fed Lady is still far from coming out to sing the tune to end this match or the contest. Still a lot of football to be played here. And who are we to deny ourselves any chance at a dramatic comeback as a neutral?
Well, obviously one would always base that on the quality of finishing that Angola has. They still have one or two more goals from Depo or any of the strike force. Remember the last game, they were tracking with 3 when their backs were against the wall, and they just turned that corner.
Space out on the far side. Really at 3 making their way into the box then Comoros, so they are looking to make things happen. Nimudin again finding space on the far side. This time 4 getting into the box. Header clear by Sandro. Where the Angolans did show their true quality was against Lesotho. Here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in the last match, Lesotho going 1 up through Fotwani after 26 minutes. And up to that point, Lesotho playing very good football. Then up steps Depu on the 42nd minute, Vitinho on the 63rd, and Miro in the 95th minute to not only win it 3-1 for Angola, but see them come from behind to qualify as top of the group when at one point they were out, down and out, trailing by 1-0 and at 1-1.
Trailing 1-0, going on to win 3-1 in a game where they could have won 6-1. Remember the 3 clear chances?
Yeah. Now, Maestro hoping to get the corner. Throwing, I believe it will be. What was impressive with them is they kept playing their football. Yes, maybe raised the intensity somewhat in the second half, Max, but they needed goals. Especially having gone 1 down, and they just kept going and kept scoring up until the 95th minute, with that goal then securing top spot in the group in the 95th minute.
And when you say with that goal, it's not only about the points, because the points were in the bag, but it was the number of goals that were needed.
Well, there you have it, goal attempts as Angola having 3 of them, and well, converting 2 out of the 3. Depo, if you are just joining us, yes, is amongst the scorers. Physically, it's been a bit of a contest for the likes of Kiliano on your picture. Man who opened the scoring beautifully with a header. Sandro with the throw-in. Joja looking to help it on his way. Then as the men in green try and explode from the defensive positions early with the ball forwards. And Mindinho so strong aerially then.
Green.
There's Hasi. Really ball forward, and guess who is looking to punish the 2 central defenders. Depu all on his own. Any long ball, he will chase it wholeheartedly. He's so quick that he's a real handful. They know what's coming. We've all seen it before in the group stages, but so far no one can handle those hopeful long balls for sometimes.
Well, he does what I will never forget when I had that privilege of talking to him. And he says, I'm a striker, but we always think for goals. We think goal all the time. When I get the ball, I just shoot. He tried a volley there, just got off target.
Trying angle as well. Didn't quite favor him. There's Kasim. Now, good movement going into that final third, superbly washed. Protecting that back four then by Domingos. There's Kiliano. Maestro took that nicely. Space to exploit. Run on the overlap being provided by Hasi. Berna. At times, it's so easy on the eye from the Angolans, where they play well for one another with the movement and such, with the Maestro providing a nice touch here and there to just get them going in midfield, and they respond well with their movement around him.
I'm just chuckling because I just noticed that when it comes to a funny, you don't have to be nice. You just have to kick everything. And Mindino did exactly that. He was told, don't let him control the ball. Just whack it.
Comoros fans will be hoping their side take a leaf out of Mindino's book then and treat Depu the same way. Anything around him, just get rid of it. Don't let it bounce. Now, ball in. Oh, that's a good ball.
Good ball, Sizwe, but teammates didn't expect it. That is why there was only one green shirt in the box.
Vanik not allowed to turn. Kiliano. Nice turn. He's destroyed two. Looks to add a third to the mix. Ankle cracking turn then from Kasim.
It looked more like these people will say, don't worry, I'll cover your back, but the same person is not covered.
Because then had to check himself. Just couldn't turn as quickly. Good defensive work though by Sandro, and covering the two that were already down. To their credit, they are now getting into positions where they're getting deep into the final third in the wide areas, beginning to whip crosses in. Starting to find the passes between the lines as well, and all the while they need to be careful of the counter-attack.
Don't they remind you of Zambia? 2-0 down and still looking good on the ball. And
Yeah.
still went on to lose, and even losing dismally in the tournament.
Danny on the near side. Again, they're looking to force the issue. Comoros trying to use the width of the field. That was nicely read in by Hossi. No options going forward, so has to check himself in with Bernard. Well, for Zambia, didn't score a goal in the tournament. First time they've lost more than 2 in a row in the tournament, and Comoros now keeping the pressure on. Ball in, then Kasim found the teammates, and told you, you're thinking it's the right man if it isn't to be Afane, and it got stuck under his feet.
Why backheel it instead of sweeping it? Composed again, nicely in the midfield. They're still passing the ball beautifully, the Comoros side, but still not getting that to that end result. They seem not to also be trusting each other, because when one goes wide, there seem not to be green shirts flooding into the box. And it's more a question of, will he play that cross? And suddenly they're surprised when it's played.
Comoros knocking on that door. Under 10 minutes now remaining in this first half. Nice stroke. Not allowed to give and attack the space of the far side. Could have been an off-the-ball incident then that brought Maestro down. Now, will there be any action taken by Abongile Tom? Making his way over towards Maestro. Naimudin, the man whom one could argue obstructed Maestro, as we look back at Georgia looking for something special. Yeah, he was looking for the back heel, yeah?
Yeah, he wanted to do one
flick.
of those surprise back heels, when it didn't come off.
You remember one of the magical goals we've seen in this tournament, magical I mean, that of course was by Maestro when he was juggling the ball, and Georgia is one of those that thinks outside of the box, and he was trying something a little different then. Now, they've started to arrive, as the Ate has a warn on here. Taking them a while to get here, but they are finally here, including a few Angolan supporters with their flag up and proud then, and happy, of course, with the way things have fared here.
Just thinking back on what you said, Georgia thinking outside the box. He was in the box.
In the little box.
He's even in the smallest box and couldn't think outside.
Pickers saw space and asked a little too much of himself with the ball into the space to run onto. So, for the Zambians here, we have to give a special word as the defending champions. They were looking to make history for the right reasons, and they were looking to be the first side to make 3 Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup wins in a row. That was the ambition coming into this tournament. Finished bottom of their group. First ever COSAFA Cup tournament without a win for them. This is the history they made. First COSAFA Cup tournament without scoring a single goal. Worst title defense in a COSAFA Cup history. First time, as I mentioned earlier, losing 3 in a row. And first ever defeat to Comoros Island. And here they are, Comoros, who finished top of the group here, battling with Angola in the semi-finals, needing something a bit special to turn things around. Yeah, we knew then they meant business, but some could have wondered that maybe it's a Zambian side that's not at their best, and maybe taking a bit of the credit away from Comoros. But having started off with a loss, the way they responded, and again, one has to stress, a tough group. Losing to Zimbabwe, whom, if you weren't watching the tournament from earlier, of course, were making their return after the ban. Mentioned it got physical in the middle of the park here, and a yellow card for Kiliano.
It was always going to be, because I realized that they both playing through the middle. I don't know why they don't go through the wings. Spray the balls wide, open up the middle of the park, because even those that are late, they just lunge.
They were in a group with the likes of Zambia, and it's a very physical group, that with the Zimbabweans and their commitment, the Kenyans as well, big and strong. Comoros got through that group, and its physical demands. Angola, of course, physically, you just have to look at them. Big men with a huge presence, and they also get stuck into the middle of the park. So, expected things to get tough from a physical standpoint. That's happening on the African continent, Mats Maponyani.
Yeah.
Here in the south, we talk COSAFA Cup.
Happening.
AFCON just happened.
And there's still World Cup qualifiers. And then suddenly the draw for AFCON,
Club World Cup to look forward to.
For Morocco 2025. And in fact, Angola itself is in an interesting group. Tough draws.
With Ghana, Sudan, Niger.
Very interesting. So it's important to have these COSAFA Cup games, because now they're going to meet some giants within the continent.
Comoros with Tunisia, Madagascar, and Gambia.
That Tunisia trip is going to be an interesting one.
Well, they conspiring them a little bit here, with Tunisia having made the trip down to South Africa in June to play against Namibia in the World Cup qualifiers.
But then in this case, I'm just saying, when they go to Tunisia, you know how those venues can be. It's like going to Egypt.
Zimbabwe and Namibia in the same group, Group J, with Cameroon and Kenya. Now, clearance in by Naimodine. Joja. Nice strike in.
As you're going through the group, South Africans might be saying, where are we?
Keeping them in suspense for the time being.
keep the best for last.
They'll be up against a side from the east in Uganda, Congo, and South Sudan.
So there's non-stop football, if you come to think of it, also, because there's this World Cup club qualifiers.
Now, battle on here in the box here, and it's Kasim. It's a lost out. Burner now. Quick to turn and pick us on the move here on this near side. Needs a bit of support now. Pickers, buying time. Cavalry arriving, but he's overcooked that cross somewhat.
Was trying to find Depu, but as you say, overcooked, and no cover on the other side.
Medine, a little short of options in looking for the forward pass then. And they're so quick to get back and get the structure going here in protecting that back four in that midfield that it's not easy to hit them on the counter attack. I find it. It's Kiliano. For a big man, he really does have lovely balance and also quite a presence inside that middle of the park, does Kiliano. Domingos to the last few minutes of this first half. Angola halfway there and trying to end an 18-year wait for a final spot. It's been 20 years since they won the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. Pass it. Comoros, of course, just by getting here, have gone where no man from Comoros has gone before in the past in getting to the semi-finals. Reaching for the stars and trying to push it all the way to the final here. Georgia under pressure. Losing out there into Sandro. Movement of the ball, doing well and staying on side. Now looking for teammates inside the box. And just Burner out of that far post. The others were a little slow in getting to positions of interest. Maestro now, lovely footwork. Happy to settle with the decision, or so he thought. Molly Tomlin having a word with the ball boy about standard operating procedure, I may call it that, from the ball boys.
And it's now time.
Thought there was an elbow in there. Did I find it? Yeah, they've done a good job at him in keeping him quiet. You're frustrated by Burner, who plays for Boa Vista out in Portugal. Karim. Again, no way through and trying to find the runs being made towards that final third. So they look to open it up a bit here with the ball to this near side, but once again, Angola having numbers to deal with any balls trying to get in behind that defense. 3 minutes added on to the end of this first half. Hussey and friends wanting to keep that 2-goal cushion, which will be a huge mental victory. Can they come up with something special here late in the half, Comoros, with Georgia fouled here by Sandro. They had the off opportunity early on in the game from a dead ball situation. Thrown numbers forward here. Looking to end this first half in a positive. It's a good ball in, and wow, comes off a couple of players. One of them being Afane, Didn't expect it coming off his midsection. And the Angolans able to clear. Initial touch, in fact, from Maestro. Or was it Karim? Again, Comoros trying to get onto that front foot. We're hoping for the corner. They're a little shocked here. Aboile Tom has given the goal kick. A half that started perfectly for the Angolans in the semi-final of the 2024 Hollywood Best COSAFA Cup ends with them taking the 2-goal cushion into the half-time break. Then Keliano getting them off to a flyer in 2 minutes from a dead ball, and then Tepu doing what he does, again putting pressure on the defender from the long ball forward, getting the better of him, and then rounding off Anzimati to score a second and his fourth of the tournament. Comoros have a lot to do to turn this around. They need to be the first to score in the next half if they can turn it around. But after half time, it's Angola with a foot in the final, leading Comoros with a 2-0 scoreline. Well, nothing on target from Comoros. They found this Angolan defense so difficult to break down. Then with just a couple of goal attempts, half attempts if you will, one from a dead ball situation. Angola have been a threat in open play on the counter and from dead ball situations. 2 on target that they found the back of the net, but they have given the Comoros a thing or two to think about in the different ways they can hurt them. Also interesting to note that it's Comoros that are slightly edging Angola in ball possession stats. It's physical in the middle of the park, but rather interesting at half-time.
It is half-time here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, and I'm joined by Wilson Mutekede. Wilson, we had moments where the first half just opened exactly as we wanted and would have loved to.
Yes, quickly opened with a goal just after 3 minutes, and that set the trajectory of the game. Yeah.
But interesting enough is that when you look at the game itself, coming into it, Angolans were always looking good on paper, but then they had to show that on the field.
Indeed, I think they showed it from the second game, the last group match. Angola was improving, and even when you look at the number of goals that they scored with progression, it then showed today that on paper indeed they were strong, and on the field of play they applied themselves as we expected.
Yeah, and with no disrespect to other opponents, Angola to me looks like they are a solid side that can go on to win this, because they are very strong up front. They can attack with Depu alone, and they can add 2 other strikers.
Indeed, indeed. When you look at their transitions, were very, very positive transitions.
Talking about transitions, though, this was the moment where Manuel scored on the 3rd minute, but before then, that's when Maestro got injured.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's when he got a knock off that from number 22. But from that set play, they utilized it to get a goal through. They are probably the youngest player in the field of play, the number 23.
And they're just flowing, flowing. And Manuel just got that ball and not expected to. Depu was the target, Vidino was the target, and suddenly comes Manuel.
He timed his run very, very well. There was a second run, and there was a first run and second run, and he went on the third run, and he got behind the ball and executed a very good header that he placed beyond the reach of the goalkeeper.
We're always talking about a good header, but it's always the supplier. You cannot take it away from Maestro, who has really been their main machine in the middle of the park.
True. Maestro has been, I think when you check even on player of the match, he has featured before. He has been an impact player throughout the tournament, and the delivery of that cross sums it up.
He's really been a man that has come to my office twice to get that man of the match award. But then came a moment on the 24th minute, and this is the big, strong run just before that goal. Depu again, taking opposition to cleanness.
Yeah, the young man has bounds of energy. I counted about 3. We noticed about 3 runs that he made, and complimentary runs were not coming from other teammates as he was speeding, like breaking through. Look, that one is the goalkeeper, and very good accuracy from that distance and that angle to find the back of the net.
What were you thinking of the keeper at the moment? Because at some point I thought, the poor man is lost. He doesn't know whether to keep going or to go back to the line. And I knew he was taken to cleanness.
Yeah, he was at sea. He wasn't sure. When he was going out there, I was even fearing that he might commit an offense that was a send-off offense. But he was beaten, but at least he did not commit an offense.
And from that ricochet, counter-attack missed in the middle of the park, and then it went to the best man on the park. Now, this is where he never even needed his teammate at all.
Yeah.
Maestro was in the support, but he just thought, now I'll be the Maestro here.
Yeah, in fact, if Maestro had touched that ball, it could have been an offside. So he did well to outsprint his teammates and took it into his own hands, beating the last marker there, and then off we go. You see, Maestro was ahead of play. If
and the angle was a bit narrow.
Very, very narrow. Very, very narrow. That's good technique, very good accuracy. I think Depu, the previous match, the last match, I think we saw him miss clear goal-scoring chances after beating the last defender, just failing to tap in. But today he converted from a much more difficult angle.
We always talk about the goal, but the footwork there was something else.
Yes.
A little 1-2 just past him.
Very defty, quite defty, and look, the way he beat that defender, it was a 50-50. If he was a coward, he could have chickened out, but he bravely he played the ball past the defender.
Yeah, he is a real striker, because once he gets there, he believes that he can put the ball in the back of the net. Now here's the question. The Comoros side, how can they bounce back? We've seen them trying to knock the ball around, trying to be in the game, and they never really threatened in goals, funny enough.
Yes, the few chances that they got into the box, like in that instance, there's lack of composure in terms that to just, you see, like the number 7, the ball struck him into the onto unawarely, where you think probably they are well positioned to just set each other up for finishing.
Yeah, that's when I thought, what was Georgia doing there? Because he wanted to flick it, and it got so entangled that it's from the shin, in fact, from the foot to the knee, and he looked at it at the back, and he realized it's still in front of me. So that's one of the only chances that I believe that he could have just moved away and sweep it in the back of the net. But he just decided to come with one of those fancy hook balls that leaves everybody stranded.
And the flick was not going to go to a teammate. He was going to waste it. I thought he was going to play it to an oncoming, on-rushing teammate, but he wanted to flick it. That's, I think, it describes how Comoros has struggled in terms of the final third action. And we hope in the second half they will try and get composed and make use of the chances that are going to come their way.
Interesting you mentioned second half. Don't you think in a change room now, the coach should say, when you're there and it's awkward, don't try funny things. Just lay it to on-rushing traffic as long as it's a green shirt.
Yeah, I think now it's the time for the coach to really calm the nerves down, drive the simple points, precise points home, and not really subject them to too much pressure, because now it's just about trying to go and do their best in the second half.
You know, interesting, you're talking about second half. We know that the Angolans, when the chips are down, they don't play with Tepu alone up front. They add two more. And we saw them in their previous game. And that, to me, makes me believe that they're still in this game.
Yeah, they are. When you look at Angola, I'm sure this time around they're going to try and manage the game well. With a two-goal cushion, yes, they might want to kill it off, but obviously they are not going to go all out in terms of opening it up. They are going to make sure you have to either also rotate the squad, try and make sure they're preparing for the next stage.
You and I have learned a lot about this game in a sense that it has always been said that 2 goals are never enough. Because if it's 2-1, then your backs are against the wall. Before you know, the team that scores that goal gets to believe that it can be 2-all. And then when it's 2-all, 9 times out of 10, the one coming from behind goes on to win.
But when you look at this Angola second goal, it was when Comoros were trying to push up. And I'm sure that pattern is likely going to repeat itself. Comoros are likely going to try and also come in, but they're going to obviously leave spaces behind. And if they leave Depo unattended, anything can happen.
Yeah, not only Depo, even Maestro can get there,
also,
but an insurance goal is needed.
Insurance, they need to really kill it off, and insurance is the 30th goal.
Yes, a very interesting first half where we saw the not one-sided per se, but a dominant Angola just leading there, looking at mainly where Angola is comfortable. The goalkeeper, I've never seen Lunganga doing anything today.
Yeah, he has been...
is he there?
He has not been tested at all. I hope he's going to be ready if something is really thrown at him. If he's put to test, I hope he's ready. With this weather, it's easy to really get your pulse down, and because you're inactive for most of the time. I think he has to be trying to be pushing up and be the sweeper behind defense so that he's active, he's in the game.
Yeah, when the game started, there was that battle that we all saw, the battle of number 17s. Remember that duel with Afani always on the ground and always tackled. And it just got interesting, and I thought it's going to end here. Then it stopped and moved on.
Indeed, it stopped, and I think it spilled over even to the technical areas.
Yeah.
So we saw activity on the technical areas. So I think it's quite interesting, but Afani, yes, to really announce his presence, because most of the time, yes, he's a very, very a good, strong striker, but he tends to then run away from his areas where he has his strengths, like in the center of attack. When he goes into wide areas, I think there's number 7, number 8 there, who can take care of business. And Afani, I think, should reserve more of his energy right in the center where he can be more effective.
Yeah, you're talking about effective, but one thing that I have noticed is that as this duel that you were talking about that got Afani just incensed, is that the passing. You need to be effective being Afani when you get all those passes, but the team is not combining to supply him with that.
Yeah. Their positive play is in terms of going forward. It's not that smooth. This is why he has not been supplied with clean balls, and I guess that's why he's hunting for the ball now in wide areas, because the supply line is not very, very good. Like you're saying, we look at finishing and we forget the supplier, and that supply is important.
Okay, and that's where we leave it for this first 45. Second 45 coming up.
After 45 minutes of semi-final football here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, it's Angola that were effective offensively and ruthless defensively. For Comoros, they didn't get a shot on target against Langanga. He was that well protected first by this side in red and black. And then out in the attack, from a dead ball situation. They scored through Kiliano early, where they were dominant in the air, and Tepu, of course, on a transition, as he's done time and time again, troubles yet another defensive herring as he goes on to secure the 2-goal cushion. They're the first side out of the tunnel here are the Angolans. They are a side that really has been impressive so far in this tournament. They made a real statement with the way they qualified and the drama on that last day, having to come from behind. And Tepu, in your picture here, top goal scorer now in the tournament with 4 goals. They are yet to lose a game in this year's tournament. Just the one draw for the Angolans, which came against Namibia when the game ended with a 0-0 scoreline right here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on the opening day of the group. For the supporters that have come through here, they may very well be looking at a team that will await the winner of the Namibia-Mozambique game later on in the final. That is if, of course, Angola keep their discipline defensively and remain as effective as they are on the front foot. That's what they're hoping for, to return here on Sunday and hope to see them in the final. Now, the men coming out of the tunnel, COMOROS, the surprise package of this year's tournament, needing to show character. The likes of Karim then in the heart of that defense, they need to find a way to deal with the aerial threats, deal with the threat that is, of course, Tepu, whilst all the while the most important part of the game that needs to come right here in this second 45 minutes is finding penetration and creating clear-cut chances against Langanga. That's something they failed to do in that first half. It will be the first side to make a change here. The Angolans, Kiliano, on a yellow card, open the scoring and will make way. First change of the match may come as a bit of a surprise with the way Kiliano operated in the heart of midfield. Pedro, the man on in his place. COMOROS to attack the goal to the left of your picture in the second 45. Really need to get it right on the front foot around the final third. Mendinho. Bernard giving chase on the near side, forcing the Demironsi man. Now, looking for a quick turn and shot. Sharp is the man now wearing the captain's armband, Tepu. Battling against Karim, who plays for Club Le Poifoot. So far in the tournament, in the history of the tournament, they came into this year's edition with a history of 18 clean sheets. Did the Angolans. They did 19 with a 0-0 scoreline against Namibia. Pete Seychelles with a 3-2 scoreline in an entertaining game, 5-goal thriller. And again, couldn't keep a clean sheet against Lesotho, so far just the one clean sheet for them. Looking to make it 2 here in this semi-final. And get closer to 20 clean sheets in the tournament history. Comoros with 4 in the box, and well, they got the touch of the near post in from Georgia. Have found that he's positioning rather interesting alongside Afane in this match. And he pulled in Afane, looking to get onto the end of it. Easy for Langanga. Calling for it early then, closely watched and tracked by Mindinho. Maestro gets to get it back. Good movement on that far side, well spotted by Maestro and keeping it moving. Now Pickers looking to pick apart the defender, gets the set piece. Up and out defensively is Kasim. No doubt a foul then against the Pickers. So we saw Angola being a threat from a dead ball. They opened the scoring from a dead ball. Didn't get too many of these situations in the first half. Here they are inside the opening 5 of the second. Again with Maestro standing over it. And Berna as well. If it's Maestro, it'll be the in-swinger. In-swinger it is. Too close to Anzimati. He'll snatch those out the air all day long. Lovely first touch. A little isolated is Kasim then. 2 men on him. Oh, they've done that so well on the defensive side. It's nice to see Berna, the Vista man, dropping back to assist defensively then and ensuring there is no threat from a counter-attack. Maestro. Here's Berna. Maestro out to drive forwards. Maestro it is down! Picked the pass on a couple of occasions then to get into the shooting position, looking for his second of the tournament. So much to do from out wide on that far side, and keeps moving and using the likes of Tepu as decoys then to maybe put a bit of doubt into the defender's mind while he's getting to their shooting position. Georgia. Pressure from Depu and Karim. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in the conversation with the likes of Sean Bartlett, Mark Fish, Elrio van Heerden, in the technical study group, Max Maponyani, at the end of the tournament, when it's time to sit down and talk best player of the tournament. From a number 9 point of view, Depu's been outstanding. From a number 10 point of view, it's just the creative spark of the side. Maestro.
Interesting, the other 2 names that the Mr. Mutegede Wiseman. Words from the Wiseman is that 2 of these players on the park, that's Afani and Depu, are in the best 11 in this.
That's no surprise. Karim, the number 5 for Comoros, could be in there as well. As Anzimati read the situation well here, he'll be in the talk for the best 11 from a goalkeeping point of view. But Karim, who's been outstanding, and I got a special words, of course, when you guys were pulling up to the game here. We'll be up against the likes of Vintinho and Mandinho as well. Comoros now making a change. with the far will be the man that's the first to be replaced here by the men in green. Now flick on and 3 in that box. A couple of them looking to get to the top of the ball then for Comoros. Just didn't work out again. Angola having men being responsible defensively. Sandro here. Fouled by Nasser, the new man on the field. Bit of pace here on this near side again. It's Ahmed Kassim, who has been impressive here for Comoros here. Made a few good runs. You'll remember he's the man with that turn in the first half that saw 2 defenders go weak in the knees and drop to the floor.
The accidental falling of the cover.
Yellow card, yeah. And Hossi, according to the referee's book.
Hossi was naughty there. He knew that the opponent has left him for dead, and he just slipped him, got him off balance. Hasn't made a save, as you rightfully say, Caesar. In this weather, everybody needs to be busy.
Well, from a dead ball here, they aren't able to hurt Nanganga once again.
Cherry pickings.
By the way, VAR is available here for the semi-finals of the Hollywood's Bets COSAFA Cup. Haven't needed it as yet, Sabongile Tom, as well as his colleagues in the way of the assistants. Have been very much on the money with their calling of the game here. Also, there have been no decisions that have seen them needing to look to the video assistant referee.
He's also one of the quality referees South Africa can provide.
Yeah.
So we're confident that he will handle this well.
Talking about handling things well here, as we look at Domingos being fouled, the simplicity with which it looks the Angolans bring their focus into the game has been impressive. 2-0 up here, 10 minutes into the second half. Defensively solid and responsible for a side that leaked a few goals in the group stages. They seem to have tightened up defensively while still being very effective on the front foot. Lovely balance in this game between defense and attack.
Yeah, amazing how a number of games can just change you and get you settled. Because a lot of these teams, when it started, they were not settled at all. As we see, yellow card again.
He just came on. Nasser, I think that's the message. But look, I want you to go out there and be the busy man with the fresh legs, but legally.
Just stood on his opponent's toes.
By the way, the cars just keep going up now. 5 showed. Problem is with Sandro.
When a substitute comes on and does these things, you wonder what the instructions were. Unless if it's one of those that we're told, go out there and make a difference.
Will have an impact.
So it's an open book. You can't blanche, make a difference.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
The way they dressed out in the stands tells you about the weather here today. We checked it off time. The wind had gone up from 51 to 53 kilometers an hour. At the start of the game, it was 51.
I respect these fans. It's not warm down there. For them to be sitting there.
Nice show. Looking for the movement towards that far post. Had a conversation years ago now, years ago, with the late Tabang Libesi. And just watching Maestro, I remember a conversation I had with him where He said when Isaac Kumwani used to get on the ball, the late great Isaac Kumwani, he knew just find space to run into and attack that space off the ball. Isaac will find you. And it seems the same here with the Angolans. When Maestro gets on the ball, a few of them at times just attack space. He'll find you. Now, a couple of men down here. Kasim, wearing the number 8 for Comoros, has been getting stuck in. Burner will be the latest in the book again. Beginning to wonder about these yellow cards.
Berna says for me, but it was him. Can't be your teammate. You were involved in that. He was pulled and then he swung a leg and caught his opponent on the knee. And then he says for me, but Kasim was caught on the knee. Karim was caught on the knee.
Now, 6 yellows. There you have it, the weather conditions here. Cold day in a very windy city. And I will blame Max Maponyani for the weather. Early on in the tournament, he was surprising us with a special guest from the area, talking about the COSAFA Cup, what it brings to the community. And in one of his interviews, one of the things he highlighted was the weather playing its part, and the weather was praised then, and how it's welcomed us all to PE in the best way possible. It's now seeing us off in the coldest way possible as we look back at this moment. Finally having something to do.
And he's just dropped it to be busy. Something that he could have collected. Then there he dropped it again. But look at that. 4 red shirts.
Covering him.
Covering him.
And trying the overhead kick was the new busybody on the field then. Nasero's coming off the bench. He's trying it all then in trying to have that impact we're talking about.
And Afani is limping off from that little incident out in the box.
6 yellow cards. 30 minutes still remaining in this match as we approach the 1 hour mark. Like I said, I'm beginning to think they continue in the same vein physically. Abogile Tom may be forced into a corner here. Now, could be a chance. It's a chance. And late, Anzimati decides to hit the brakes and take a gamble.
And it worked for him, but Bernard didn't pick a spot or something, straight into his belly.
I think he was expecting him to go low, so he just lifted it a little bit, and he had hit the brakes, Anzimati, and it worked out, that gamble. He came out like he was going to go all the way in, low at the ankles like they usually do. We'll know all about that, being a striker back in your day.
And also then, on the flip side, you now think, why didn't he press it down? But obviously, that's when, after the fact, these things happen. Took a good gamble indeed.
Hits the brakes. So he's lifted it, expecting him to continue.
Lovely flick, though, by the usual suspect.
He flicks it too, anticipating that Pikas is one coming from the far side and Perna from the other. They knew and were well drilled in how to react in that situation. Having a chat with Ben, our statistician at our time, discussing Angola. It's about the different ways they hurt you. Yeah? Can they have something brilliant from Maestro in finding a nice through ball and such, the long balls forward, the dead ball situation, poachers type of goals. They really give you a handful defensively to think about.
He can be the...
Now, looking for the turn, long legs coming to good effect.
I would say he can be the target man, Depu, the big number 9, and or then he goes in, flicks things, and then Berna is the man that goes at the end of things.
Their counter-attacks are powerful and quick. He's really worked hard, the man in your picture, in trying to make something happen. Kasim, one them a corner.
But hasn't he throughout the tournament?
Ever present for Comoros? 7. They have to start to gamble, knowing there's always a threat of a counter-attack, but everybody back defending here for Angola. Still, chance! Just wide. They have to. With an hour gone by.
Was a bit awkward. Hilali couldn't just knock it down. It was just going over him, and he just stretched his body just to reach it. Way off target.
Played 103 minutes over this tournament, Hilali. Strength in the middle of the park in holding off the opponent, then finding space on this near side. Good movement off the ball. Pedro looking for the 1-2. So Angola to make a couple more changes here. And Domingos will replace Sperner on a yellow card. That is first of the tournaments. Known as Miro, wearing the number 9 jersey. Also, they will have Mansoni coming on. Mansoni will certainly add to the height, although he's not in the box for the set piece. In swing at this time, far post. Quick with the release is Anzimati. And the Angola is already having good numbers behind the ball then. Well, with an hour gone by now, leading with the 2-goal cushion, and Comoros still not looking much of a threat on the front foot. Angolan fans will start to believe the final spot is theirs to have. 2004, when they got to a final, beating Zambia when they were last champions 20 years ago. Now, cross space nicely then. Again, another defender weak in the knees with that skill.
I was just checking his balance there. Something very intriguing for me when that ball bounced. Did you notice that instead of skidding, it just died there?
Yeah.
And in fact, he was waiting for the ball to come to him. He had to meet the ball halfway.
Stayed low. Now, good movement. Again, it's nicely read by Mansoni here on this near side. Thought that reverse ball might just sneak through to Afani. Fouls. They've done a good job on him here this afternoon in keeping him quiet. He's tried, he's worked hard here, but they've just made it difficult for his teammates to find him.
He had him, but that wasn't deliberate, because as he just gave that ball a bad first touch, it bubbled and he followed it. And they gave a foul away in the process.
Decisions, yeah. Look for teammates or look to get the better of Langanga. Big wall. You don't want to defy him. You go where he tells you. Joja and Kasim stand over it. Middle of your picture, high fives between Mindinho and Afani before they battled for every inch there. Had a chat amongst themselves, at the end of them giving themselves a high five or each other. And so begins the pushing and shoving now. Going for goal! Perfectly positioned. First time he's been tested, Langanga.
Tested, but he straight to him. It wasn't really threatening, but Pickers is the man that was looking there and hoping that his keeper will have that in the back, and it wasn't in the back. Just got it so easily.
Also in the final back in 2001, Angola. Back then, the final used to have the first leg and second leg. They were up against Zimbabwe. 0-0 in the first leg. They won 1-0 in the second leg. Flavio, the scorer. Now, chance here for Comoros again. Good numbers back. So,
This is that man again, just when you were saying that, Karim, attacking the box. 3 players didn't want to touch him. They were just pulling the legs. Don't touch him. He's
Really had a good
very
game.
close to the box. He's just driving forward all the time.
really had a good game. Winners again in 99, the Angolans, and then out in Windhoek beat Namibia in the final, the home side. 1-0, Petinho scoring, and then 1-1 in the second leg. On the aggregate scoreline. So they've beaten Namibia, they've beaten Zimbabwe, they've beaten Zambia in the finals. They'll wait to see if they'll face Namibia again in another final.
Namibia's got a big task later in the afternoon, early evening, 6 o'clock. Namibia against Mozambique. By the way, the two countries are here looking at these two because they could meet either side. Well, either side can meet one team now, and there's only one team that they can meet, Angola.
As things stand,
As things stand. I don't think they'll stand otherwise because nothing has changed, because Angola are not really chasing the game. They still dominate. This is the one thing that I always pick up when I watch any game, is that when you are not in possession, you cannot just suddenly come back. You've got to be in possession. It's like when you're playing against a good side and you are a goal or two down and they keep in possession, you need a ball to score. So how are you going to score unless if they score for you?
So I remind you, as the Comoros get a set piece here, and Pedro is a call for the foul. I want to remind you of a game involving Angola. Max Maponyani. No handball then, came off the face, as Georgia was appealing for the handball. But in just showing you impossible is nothing, I'll tell you a story. I'll take you on a trip down memory lane. You and I both know we were in 2010. We remember the memories really well.
That's the set piece from that incident, and then it was Manuel getting at the end of it, making it 1-0. And then this ricochet, when Tarek was trying to take a strike at goals, stolen by this man, Depu. Oh, a shimmy on the keeper. How easy was that? And he knew where the target was.
Now, too close to Anzimati. He'll be in a hurry now. I'm going to Tom again. May very well have to reach into his pocket here for yet another card. Pedro now the man in off the bench. They keep piling up those yellow cards. 19 minutes remaining.
But how does he dive like that, Pedro? It was very unnecessary. Against his way in his own, in the opposition half, and just lunging at the. Look at that.
I think he's taking one for the team here, trying to deny by all means the counter attack, knowing the danger man is on the ball here from a creative standpoint. But Asma Banyani, 10th of January 2010, the Africa Cup of Nations is happening. Opening day. Angola is involved. Difficult angle, always going wide. So Flavio scores in the 36th minutes, 42nd minutes. Gilberto, you'll remember him too. 67th minutes. Manucho played for Manchester United, scores from the penalty spot. Angola leading 4-0 in 74 minutes. Mali then score in the 79th minutes, 88th minutes, 93rd minutes, 94th minute. It ends 4-4.
Still
leading
one of the
4-0
best
going
games.
into the last
That's
10.
still one of the best.
And Angola were involved.
Not
so
today.
never say never. That's all
Not
I'm
today,
saying. Now they could have a chance. I remember calling that game. I couldn't believe it.
I've seen a lot of those unbelievable 3-0 lead, and then you end up drawing 4-all. Even struggling to make it 4-all because now you led 4-3.
Yep. And then the corner at the end of that play. The Depo. Depo beat through it on the near post. Strong play by the new man on then Nasser, who's really looked to have an effect in the middle of the park here. They still struggle, Comoros, at creating clear-cut chances.
But why didn't Mindino go to the ball there? He just let it roll and then goes to the man and still lost it. Just play the ball and keep it clean.
Patient, Angola. The beauty of scoring early, of course, which they did in this match. If you are just joining us, they had to be patient and played at their own pace then, scoring in the second minute. Once they got the 2-goal cushion, really the pressure was off. And discipline has really been their thing defensively. Maestro opening it up here on this near side with Milo. Stretching the defense once again with Pickers. Overlapping run. 3 targets. Safety first from Tarek.
When he chipped that ball, did you hear him saying, Depu?
Yeah.
It's planned for Depu.
Playing to his strengths, obviously. You know how he likes it.
And then he overplayed it, but he must play it such that he can be able to attack it, drop it in front of him, because that's now too deep for him.
Is he injured? Yeah. Tapped at the office.
He got injured earlier, Tarek, if you can recall. He just got injured earlier.
Operating in that left back position. Tarek. Good sportsmanship from Tepo. What Liang was saying, he really cares for whatever situation Tarek finds himself in. He's even helping them put him on the stretcher.
The real character is when you are down. When you are leading, you can be as gentle as you can. They always say check the real character when the man is desperate and see how kind that person is.
Saddad will be coming on here. And Chambai. First order of business will be to go help out defensively. So that's got good height on him. So big number 9 then. Won't struggle to find big men to have to deal with in there. There's plenty of them. So Tarek has made way. And Yusuf on in his place.
I'm already deep.
Well, again, for those of you that may not have caught the early rounds in this tournament, especially the first round of matches, my colleague having the pleasure of speaking to all the coaches, and we touched on the football that's coming up in the near future from an international standpoint, including club-wise and so on, but so much football coming up in qualifiers that all the coaches are saying, look, not our first squad. These are men we are using to try and beef up the first squad and give ourselves options and depth. So when you consider that from a Comoros standpoint, from an Angolan standpoint, that they're still looking to add to size that are playing in those qualifiers, you'll be thinking, well, what they've got in depth is quite impressive. Namibia as well, Mozambique.
And this also giving them the opportunity to see who they take to the World Cup and also AFCON.
They want the header on the near post then. Difficult angle to try and work it almost backwards and steer it towards goal then for Afane. In fact, it's Hilali.
The defending was a bit bad there. One in front, one at the back attacked the ball, and Hilali just had that glancing header. Not on target, but should tighten such situations.
Again, half opportunity for them, and that's about as good as it's gotten for them in this match. Remember, there was a header on the in the first half as well. Difficult to keep on target, but a decent chance. But they haven't really had much in the way of better chances to try and expose Langanga. Working hard, yes, Pedro.
You are talking about coaches getting an idea of who they take with and who they leave behind. But also the advantage of today's game is that, yes, I know it's not that big advantage, is that even if you lose, you still live to see another day in the third and fourth place playoff on Sunday. Then the coach can still give others a run and try combinations of the bench warmers.
And that is the whole point of the exercise. That is the COSAFA Cup. There you have it, goal attempts. A fair amount here. For Comoros, it's about what's on target. And that's a telling story. Angola haven't had too much on target. They've just been ruthless with what they've had. Physical is all I'll say as far as the fouls here.
That's a lot.
What is it, 7 yellow cards?
2 and 5.
Pressure in the middle of the park still. The Angolans able to keep it moving. Oh, it's just a fraction of a second late with those challenges. This time it's Hilali, quick to apologize to Abongile Tom, but well, he stays consistent with anything slightly over the top.
So it's 5 and 3. Just when we talked about that, you called for another one. They're catching up, they think you said. Pedro is in pain.
Here's another man that's had a good tournament. If you are joining us for just the first time here in the COSAFA Cup, plays out in Sporting. Impressed in his appearance in the tournaments. Operating in defense, meaning they are beefing up their defense now. Pedro. Also seen the likes of Menison, who's coming off the bench. He's operating out wide on the near side, the gentleman in the dreadlocks. Also featured early on in the tournament. When he has played, he's been impressive. Pedro, when he has played, also showing their depth in this tournament, has been impressive.
Great.
The fact that Kiliano, the goal scorer, is also one the captain's armband, can be substituted in a couple of games in a row when things are tight, tells you that they've got depth. Now, good hard running on this near side. I was talking about the defender on the near side, and he looked for just a moment as though he was being skinned and in trouble against the ever busy Kasim.
Kasim really deserves this because he has always been a nuisance. When he gets the ball, he goes into the box. And there he was impeded.
Look most likely to make something happen. Kasim is one on the penalty here. Langanga will battle against Georgia, the captain. Looking for the interesting ending to this match. Comoros, who struggled to get clear-cut chances in this match. Won't get better than this.
Mansoni from the bench just reduces the deficit.
Langanga only has eyes for the ball. Among Tom making sure everybody is where they should be. All the while, the wait continues for Georgia. Comoros need to pull one back. Comoros do pull one back. 6 minutes remaining of the 90. It's Georgia after, well, the most impressive player of the day, Karim. Kept going, kept trying to make things happen. And in the end, on the penalty here, that's given them, well, a slight light at the end of what has been a long, dark tunnel.
It's really been a long, dark tunnel, and Yusuf, captain, just took that one with a lot of confidence. He did exactly what a captain is expected to do, lead the team to the day of lightness.
Immediately looking to recover the ball, get it back to the halfway line. Let's get started and let's go at it, gentlemen. Decision. Comoros. Bouncing the step now all of a sudden. Men in green pushing towards that final third. They want him to be responsible about this. Yes, push it into that box or the edge of the box, but give them a chance to compete. Don't overcook it. There you go.
Just what you were saying, that anything is possible, Sizwe, and I'm just thinking on the 90th, 93rd minute, then they make everybody else's life difficult. The planning and everything.
I told you, it's Angola, you never know. See them give up a full scoreline at home in an AFCON in an opening game, so. And I say that kindly towards the Angolan fans. Jokingly, of course, but factually it did happen.
And you don't joke with facts. They
now,
know.
I was talking about my tone in the way I said it now. There you have it. Bit of drama late in the day here. Kept trying, Comoros. Struggling to find the openings, but kept going at it and trying to keep that defense honest.
And truth be told, today Angola didn't have too many chances like they have in the past.
Done nicely, done well here. And, wow, problem here. Big problem for Nzimati. Yellow card for Depu. We know he's a nice guy. He will apologize wholeheartedly. We've seen it earlier. But coming together, I was on the ball then. And Amongala Tom did a good job of spotting this. Could so easily have kept his eye on the ball as it was coming in from the far side and missed what was happening in the middle of the box then.
Marty, what could have happened there? Caught him on the wrist or somewhere?
Pedro on the far side. He's got his eye on the ball.
On his
and he steps on his hand, which is on the ground. Then it's a little unlucky. Just the reaction from Nzimati. If you didn't see it, you'd think there was something malicious there. He wasn't looking at Nzimati. So the reaction from Nzimati, which is genuine in itself, is what I think ended up with the yellow card rather than his action. Not to say his action didn't play a part in it, but clearly no malice in that, I believe.
Normally when a situation is like that, you see an opponent is down, you jump him. See, so when you are a striker, you just jump. But he kept running.
He was looking at the ball.
That ball was going nowhere, it was dead already. It was a corner that wasn't to be.
Well, VAR into the fray late in the day.
Could have jumped. There.
Is he looking down or up?
That ball is dead.
Look at where he's looking.
He's looking at the ball, but he knew where the hand was.
So, decision to be made here by Letitia Viana of Eswatini and Ahmad Rao of Mauritius.
On the wrist.
Now, Depo is looking at a situation where he may not make the final.
Possible. Because he has to look at that. He's looking at the ball, and the ball has long been covered. That's when he could have stopped, and there. Then he comes.
How unfortunate for him that the keeper's hand is on the ground. The ball is nowhere near them. What are the chances the keeper's hand could be on the ground? Those are the decisions you have to think about.
And then that's when the VAR team will say, yeah, where was the ball? Nowhere near the ball. But then, I wonder if they look at the point that you made, Sizwe, that his eyes were just on the ball.
Taking his time about this, and so he should. It's a big decision here. Huge decision. Is there any malice in that?
Not at all. It wasn't deliberate.
Yeah, he's certainly taking his time. Here's Abongile Tom. This can't be an easy decision to make. There may be some that see it our way. There may be some that see it your way or my way. And what's the decision? All's well. That ends well.
That's good. That's good. Good work done there.
He took his time. He really took care of the decision. And I think the reasonable and just ending is what we got from Abongile Tom.
Not only Abongile Tom, but even the reasonable men that are sitting there on the VAR, because they just said, look at the intention. And I'm sure they looked at that so many times, Sizwe.
Also worth noting, there was no protest for a penalty at all from the Comoros players, including Anzimati. Yes, he was in pain, but he wasn't really calling for a penalty. Oh, Depo again. Minutes remaining here. And no. It's, in fact, Domingos. Depo is arguing his teammates' case in this case. Into time added on.
8 minutes, 2.5 of which, or 2 minutes of which are taken by that VAR.
From the training grounds, and it goes horribly wrong.
8 minutes is a lot for Comoros to believe in themselves and try to get one back.
You can just stretch them and work it back into the box, and in the end, we see a rare mistake from Georgia.
On a weather like this game shouldn't stretch any further. Even though it doesn't affect the second game, but it just keeps those happy supporters out in the cold.
Don't be in a hurry with these set pieces. You have to appreciate his ability to get things out of those nothing situations other strikers wouldn't go wholeheartedly into.
But then he's got to be careful and wait for the final, because that's when he'll be settled. For now, he can't put his foot wrong. That's Depo.
Keeping in mind, if Comoros do find the back, defender done in, pull in and cross-time shots. Ooh, defender was really, really done in then by Pedro. But if Comoros find the back of the net, straight penalty shootout, Max Mapoyani. So Once he's on a yellow card,
Straight penalty shootout, but interesting is that they don't want to go that route, Sizwe.
saying he's on a yellow card and they're running the risk. You might be thinking, why not substitute him? They have to think about the penalty shootout in case it happens. Everybody will be looking now to go safety first. Yeah, they're in a hurry. Comoros.
Defend this last 5 minutes of the 8 minutes at a time.
Have to get it forward quickly, Comoros, and watch out for a quick counter attack. Niamudin fouling Pedro. Long ball angled in now towards Maestro. That's the initial touch, working to try and keep it alive. He's done a good job at that. Four minutes remaining, or just under that. Waiting to see if they'll be facing the winner of Mozambique and Namibia are the Angolan supporters. Just need their side to hold on for close to 3.5 minutes now. Ansari looking to take advantage of the space here on this near side and trying to eat up at the clock, but keep it in play. Change now. And well, they will now start to take out some of their stars here, and it's Maestro that makes way. Coming on in his place is Kasim. Has to go route one, and Zimati. That'll land in with the big men at that, getting the initial header. Back into the danger area. First catch for the man just done is to concede the corner. The entire 11 for Angola back defending. All of them inside the little box. Only 3, make that 4 for Comoros that aren't in that box. Far post. Avoid another corner at the expense of a throw-in. Indinho. The man who got it clear. He and friends still have 2 more minutes of time here to try and keep the Comoros at bay. Kasim is the reason Abogile hasn't got the game moving just yet. Shoelace is done. Seven in the box here for Comoros. Chance to get the cross in. Come a long way, Langanga, and done the job perfectly. Being told to get up by Bongile Tom. He, I believe, doesn't think Langanga has been all the way sincere about the injury. Into the last of 8 minutes added on. Now, writing very much on the wall here for Ahmad Jambe, the man from France. Should be more than proud of his COMOROS side and the way they've competed, not just in this match, but throughout the tournament. They've certainly given this 2024 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup a real shock to the system. How bravely they've competed. And for Pedro Gonçalves, well, he's the Angolan side here. Getting through yet another tough hurdle on the way to being amongst the last standing on the final day. Well, again, the big men doing the job on the edge of the box defensively. Comoros given the decision here, they'll be in a hurry to get their big men forward, take the set piece quickly. One by Zamir. Could be the very last attack of the day here after Pedro committed the foul. Pedro, who fouled an opponent just a moment ago, winning the foul here with the very last play of the day. Here in this first semi-final, it's Angola with first half goals from Kiliano and Depo, who hold on in the end after Georgia pulled one back from the spot here. And for Comoros, well, disappointment in not making the final, but they've made history nonetheless by reaching their first semi-final in the history of the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup. And Zimbabwe beaten by 2 very well-taken goals here. And defensively, they gave very little away, did Sandro. In the end, for Comoros, it was hard work of Kasim, who was amongst their best on the day going forward, winning them that late penalty to make things interesting. So, it's Angola that took their place in the final, beating Comoros here in the semi-final with a scoreline of 2-1. Well, Comoros finished the game well in applying pressure, and in the end, the goal attempts and shots on target were well improved enough to have the same number as Angola. Angola created very little, it need be said, in the second half in trying to add to those 3 shots on target. Still getting slightly more of the ball here, and 10 yellow cards it was on the day in what was a very physical game between these two sides. More of the Angolans picking up yellow cards at one point. It looked as though Depo could very well walk with VAR coming into the fray late in the game, and Abongile Tom deciding that his challenge, well, didn't warrant a red. Angola celebrates an impressive win and an impressive run so far in this year's tournament. 18 years since they've gotten to a final, 20 since they've won a final, 3-time winners in the past, the Angolans. And right now, they as a team celebrate in the middle of the picture, or in the middle of the pitch. Then, I mean, just had 2 corners throughout the game to Comoros' 4. And well, they continue to impress. They continue to look a side that should be considered a serious threat here, and will await the winner of Mozambique and Namibia in the second semi-final, which will kick off at 6 o'clock in the evening here, and that should be interesting, with 3 goals scored in this first semi-final.
Yes, man of the match is Maestro, and Bassi is doing the honors as usual. May you do the honors, sir. Well, that's man of the match. Thank you very much. And man of the match, Maestro, again, I think this is the third one now. Today was the tough one.
Hoje foi duro. O que tem a dizer sobre o jogo?
Boa tarde a todos. Sabia que o jogo podia ser muito difícil, ia ser mais complicado para nós. Preparamos o jogo para isso. E estou aqui, maestro, para dar resposta, para ajudar a minha seleção a chegar mais distante possível.
Good evening. It was a tough match. We knew beforehand that it would be a tough match. But I'm here. I'm maestro and I help my teammates and our nation to advance to the final.
What was going through your mind when it was now 2-1? Anything could have happened.
O que passou pela tua cabeça quando o jogo estava 1-2-1? Qualquer coisa podia acontecer no jogo.
Sabemos que quando o jogo não acaba, árbitro não apita o jogo, é muito difícil. Tem sempre, quando eu estava a pensar, que podia virar o jogo, mas felizmente não aconteceu isso e conseguimos para a final.
We knew that it would be tough and the game just finished when the referee gave the last whistle, so we knew it beforehand that it would be very tough. But we were ready, we prepared for that, so we're here.
Congratulations, muito obrigado.
Thank you.
Yes, and I will be talking to the man that has really surprised us in this tournament, going on and on and on. Coach, 2-1, putting their backs against the wall, could have been 2-all and we could be talking a different story.
Donc, coach, défaite aujourd'hui, ça a été un peu difficile quand même aujourd'hui.
Oui, ça a été très difficile parce que on avait préparé le match avec un joueur qui était avec nous. Après, finalement, ils ont changé les règles. Notre joueur a été suspendu. On était obligé de changer le schéma tactique. Le match s'est joué en première mi-temps. On a fait 2 erreurs. Et voilà, quoi, ils ont profité, ils ont marqué. Et après, on a essayé en deuxième mi-temps de changer les choses, de revenir au score. C'est pas passé, mais il faut accepter la défaite. C'est comme ça, le football. Et bon, continuer, essayer d'aller chercher la 3e place.
Okay, so it's very sad we lost today, but it's football. We keep going just forward to try to reach to win the bronze medal. Before our match of today, we made our preparation with a player who has been suspended because of a new rules in the competition. So it's not easy to just before the game to review all our plans.
Coach, looking at the 3rd and 4th place, also a lot of pride to play for, as you said.
Donc, coach, la 3e place peut-être, très difficile également. Ça s'annonce très difficile.
De toute façon, tous les matchs sont difficiles. On savait. Mais bon, vu les matchs qu'on avait joués contre le Zimbabwe, le Kenya et la Zambie, si on ne fait pas les 2 erreurs, on ne perd pas ce match-là. Okay. Ça s'est joué à des détails. Et bon, félicitations à Angola. Et j'espère qu'ils iront jusqu'au bout. Au moins, on aura perdu contre la meilleure équipe.
So, congratulations to Angola. But like today, like I said, we made 2 mistakes and it cost us a lot. But yeah, the 3rd place will be very difficult, but we will focus on it because remember, we came from a very tough group with Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and we managed to come through. So we will just need to adjust some things and take good lessons about this defeat of today.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll be joined by the Angolan coach and Mr. Konkarovs. Congratulations, you through to the final.
Yes.
Albeit hard work today, wasn't easy at all.
Well, even the others was easy. Yes, I think we handling the match till the half of second half. Then is normal. Comoros will try it everything, but I think we for the moments of the penalty, I think the match was handling, controlling for our team, but penalty shoot, 8 minutes to play, more the additional time. For sure, if Comoros scored, the emotional match start. So it was good because we keep it with the the focus. The team was brave, very brave, all together, and we conquered that opportunity once again to stay in the final. It's very important for Angola, for the football inside Angola, for everybody believe in our process.
Just one point that I just want to make as the last one. Often when you're 2-0 up, it has always proven in this game that when you're 2-1, your backs are now against the wall. It just rattles a bit. A third goal is needed.
Yes, and we create opportunity. We have won
3 1s and 3 0s and all that.
But we miss it. Well, we try to work for have more skills to finish, be more concentrate in that moment, because it's the moment to finish the match. But it didn't happen. So, but in the end, I'm very proud about the whole work. Whole team have a feeling very good, and it's normal in the end of the matches, semi-final, last minutes. Every Comoros or any opens will risk, full risk, and we must to protect our conquer. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Coach, congratulations. See you on Sunday in the final.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, that's the situation here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, where Angola are through to the final.